Thank you everybody for being here. My name is Nan and I am the owner and founder of Breakthrough M2 Weight Loss to Wellness. And today I have a wonderful client that has done phenomenal on our program, and her name is Alyssa, and she is here to talk up her success. And she's going to tell us a little bit about how she did, some of her personal aha moments, and some of the things that really just made a difference for her. And also, why she is ready and willing to continue on living a healthy lifestyle, feeling like she has a clean slate and she can now move forward without worrying about dieting anymore, because nobody likes to diet. We are the diet company that wants you to stop dieting. I know that sounds weird, but we all hate it. And me as a human being hates it too. So why would I want that for anybody else? Alyssa, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Yes. All right. So tell us how much you lost and about, how much time you were on the program.
So I lost about 25 pounds in a little under 2 months, about a month and 3 weeks or so.
Good, good. And then you went into transition after that, step 4 transition.
Yep.
And just for our audience out there, step 4 transition is no more dieting, but it is uh, a, a less structured way of doing the Breakthrough M2 program. And it's to help you get from the low-calorie diet back to regular life. So it's that bridge in between that helps teach you how to eat and take care of yourself, not being on a diet. So did you lose any extra weight in transition? A lot of people don't.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
didn't.
but I was able to maintain that like 1 to 2,
Good.
pound fluctuation, that natural, you
Yep,
know,
good.
still feel good about it type of weight.
Yeah, yeah. So even when you got off the program, you did that for 3 weeks, and still at this point, you're still maintaining that up or down 1 or 2 pounds, totally normal
Yep.
fluctuation. Awesome. So tell us, why did you decide to do the Breakthrough M2 program?
I'm gonna be 30 this year. And I hit that point where I remembered hearing in my head, like my mom, a couple of years ago in my like mid to like early 20s, like kind of telling me like enjoy it now because when you get older, it all changes. And I kind of hit that point where, that 28, 29, and I'm like in between dress sizes when I never had that problem before. And, I was going to the gym, I was weighing my food, I was doing the diet pills, I was, you know, doing all this stuff and nothing was working. And I personally, like, I could not break 150. And it was tough because I had a lot of people saying like, "Oh, like you look great, like you look fine, like oh, you're in a relationship, like that doesn't matter, like who cares what you look like?" And oh, like you just have an athletic build. And as a 5'2" person that, who is strong and healthy and muscular, hearing that when it's not your athletic build is like,
Yeah.
it sucks. And it's not your athletic build. It's because you've been in a loving, caring, supportive relationship, that where your spouse they don't care. My boyfriend never noticed, but I noticed.
Right.
And that relationship with me, I'm the one who's going to hold myself accountable above everyone else.
That's right.
And I was over it. I had to buy bigger jeans. I had hit my mom jean stage and I was like, this is
Oh, no.
this is 30. This is my hormones. This is my body changing.
You're not
And
even a mom yet.
I know. And I'm like, what's gonna happen then?
Grandma jeans? Do they have grandma jeans?
Oh my gosh. And I was over it and I didn't feel good in a bathing suit. And everything was a sweater and loose jeans, everything. And I
Hmm.
didn't want to feel like that anymore because I knew I didn't at one point. And
Yeah.
I knew that I could get that back. And so my mom had actually tried this diet a few years ago and she had had really good success with it. And so I talked to her about it and she was like, "Hey, yeah, you know what? Like I did have a lot of success with it, why don't you try it and just see how it works?" And um I tried it and I was scared to get on the scale because when I first started, my highest was 157. And I got on the scale and like suddenly it was like 154, like 152, 150. And then I hit that 149. I was like the last 6 months I haven't been able to get under 150 doing everything. But
Yeah.
I got on this diet, and within a week and a half, I was down 5 pounds, and I was like, and
Yeah,
so that only motivated me to, to do it more, do it harder, do it, even, I mean, I was doing it strictly, but like it was just so much more of like a more motivation, like this is working. Just keep going. Like don't
yeah,
give up.
yeah. Awesome. How do you feel that your attitude has changed toward your health? I mean, I know you put that, your body is changing, it's getting older and you have to accept it and all of that. Um, you know, what about your health now?
Um, I am so much more confident about all of my health. Gut health right now is like a big term, but it is true. And
Yeah,
uh knowing now, I've also learned so much on this diet. Like I learned that sugar and dairy and wheat and which maybe some people did know more about, but like I didn't know that sugar was a huge, bloating thing. I didn't know that it was huge in inflammation, which I also have lower back issues. And I learned through this diet that, when your gut is inflamed, it actually heats up your muscles and it can bother your low back.
there
And
it is.
since then, like, my back has actually been better. And, I haven't had to go to PT twice a week. I go now once a week just to, keep in the groove of things.
Nice.
And I feel better. I feel
Mhm.
more energized. I feel more awake. And I just feel better walking around.
Yeah,
And I just, I know it sounds silly, but I mean, waking up every day and knowing that, like, oh, that's not supposed to be, like, oh, my belly isn't supposed to be out, past, my toes every day, or,
yeah,
I'm not supposed to feel like that. Like, oh, and then I can now I can tell the difference too. Like, oh, I'm bloated. Like, I want, what did I eat yesterday that I haven't eaten? Maybe I
right.
should eat
That's
for dinner.
right. It's so much
Um,
easier now to tell your body responding to what you're doing and what you're eating.
Right, and, like, and even on days that I do want something, like a little extra sugar, or if I want a
Mhm.
beer, like, I have it, but I also know, like, okay, I'll take, my digestive enzyme, and I will drink extra water, and I'll be totally fine the next day, and having that knowledge
Yeah,
has helped me overall just grow into a healthier person mentally, socially, physically. I do. I feel confident in every area in which I was struggling for a while there.
yeah, that's awesome. What habits did you become aware of, or maybe even mindset, or things that you've changed along the way because of this? I think you said something about during low cal, self-control.
Oh, yeah. Knowing that, so something for me, and I think a lot of us have, I don't want to speak for everyone, but something I kind of realized was that clean plate thing, right? I feel like growing up, you're always told you have to finish everything on your plate
Yeah,
because that's just what it is. And it's so funny. More so in transition when I was able to get a little bit more food.
yeah,
Um, I found myself, especially when we go out, right? I found myself getting a little bit full toward like the end of like my turkey burger or something. And I was like, I don't have to eat this. I can take it home. Like just because it's there does not mean that I have to eat it. If I'm full, I can be full.
nice.
And so like I've kind of realized, even though it's on your plate, it doesn't have to be eaten all right now. Like you can eat a little bit of it now, a little bit of it later, a little bit of it tomorrow. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be all at once. And I think for me, like that was a huge like wake up, like, oh
I'm
yeah,
full.
I don't have to eat all that. I
Yeah,
can just take that with me. That's why they have to-go boxes, like, oh, yeah. So
right.
that for me was a huge kind of realization, like, just because it's there does not mean you have to finish it all.
That's right. Yeah, I think even in one of the videos for transition, I always tell people, or even for low cal, I think I told people, listen, when you go out, ask for a takeout before your food even gets there. Because
Yeah,
when it gets there, you're gonna just, you know what? I'm gonna take this, put it over here. Now you are finishing what's on your plate.
right, right,
Because
yeah,
if you gotta work
and
with
it also
that mental craziness, then let's do it.
yeah, well, and you now, like, have a little bit more control, like, if you put half
Yeah,
of it away, now you look at it and you're like, "Oh, this is doable," and typically, I bet you probably don't go to the to-go box yet because you don't need it.
you
Like,
do.
it's one of those things, like, you feel satisfied because you ate everything else on your plate, and there's
Exactly.
nothing else to, like, kind of scarf down in a way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's awesome. You said that in transition, and I love, Transition is hard for people because the restrictions are taken off. The structured part of step two is loosened up quite a bit. And people get very nervous about going into step four because of a lack of maybe trust for themselves. And I
Mhm.
always tell people, that, the supplements, the drops that we sell do not make you drink your water. They don't make you choose right when you're going out. They don't make you they don't make you weigh your food. You did all of that. So you have to give yourself like 99% of the credit for losing the weight. But I understand that people still don't give themselves credit, especially women. We don't give ourselves credit for the great things that we do every single day. Um, but the guilt that is usually connected to food and eating and all of that was something that you slightly mentioned here, and I loved it. You said in transition, I learned that I can still be human without overindulging and feeling awful about it.
Yeah.
So what happened for you as far as that mental connection that you had with guilt and food?
So yeah, so transition was definitely tough. I think a lot of it is because, everyone, it's like when they no matter what diet they're doing, right? No one likes to diet. So it's like the day after you're done with that diet, right? It's like, well, I'm free now. I can, you
I
know,
can do what I want.
I, I lost the weight. I'm good now. I can afford to do this now. And
Yes, yes.
yes, you can. But for me personally, there was a lot of guilt. Especially, the age I'm at now, a lot of my friends are still very young and they're still going out and they're still drinking a lot and they're still eating a lot of pizza, and which is all totally fine, normal, great stuff. And things I didn't want to miss out on.
Yeah,
But that's where I had a lot of trouble. It's by no means were they like, oh, like what, you lost weight, now you can't eat. Like, oh, what now? Like you're not
right.
gonna have any fun. It was that phrase. It was like, oh, what, now you're not gonna have any more fun. No, but I don't have to go off the wall to have fun. I can have a piece of pizza and half a beer. I don't have to have 3 beers and, Taco Bell and a piece of pizza to have fun. I can also have fun while having a beer and drinking the rest of my water. I can also have fun, eating a big salad and then a piece of pizza. Or like I can
Yeah,
still have fun without completely sabotaging all of my hard work, because to me, I did do that
yeah.
work. Just like you said,
There
like
you go.
I drank the water, I weighed my food, I was the one who started this. And I didn't want to let that go. And so for me it was a very tough balance in the beginning of transition of who do I want to be? Do I want to be this, the new me that I worked so hard to be? And, maybe my friends don't get it. Or do I just kind of want to, give into the pressure and, have more fun?
Right.
And it was hard. It was definitely, I mean, I didn't want to even have these conversations like, with my boyfriend or like with my best friend. Just
Yeah.
not that they would pressure me, but just that they wouldn't understand it.
Hmm.
And that is one thing I will say, like, about the diet is, like, having someone, like talking to you in transition or talking to my coach, Mary, during low cal, it was so much more helpful than I thought it would be,
Hmm.
because I was talking to people that had done it and that had been through it and that actually understood where I was coming from.
Right.
And kind of getting that extra, like, little dose of reality, like, "Hey, you did the work. You owe it to yourself to make those decisions now. You don't let them make decisions for you." You
Right.
can still have fun without, like I said, overindulging and feeling that fear of ruining it, you
Hmm.
know? So wake up the next morning, you're like, "Oh, no, I'm 4 pounds over.
I
Oh,
did.
I wrecked it all. I'm sliding, I'm spiraling,"
Exactly.
and
And
you're
it
not.
goes that slippery slope, and then I can't tell you how many people have said that that's what happened, and they gave into it, and they just believed it. Once you believe that you're on a slippery slope, then you are.
Yeah,
That's the end
yeah,
of it. Like, okay, but if you literally take a step back and go, "You know what? I am not on a slippery slope. I am fine,
right.
and
Today,
I'm
I'm just gonna drink my water.
gonna
I'm
drink my
not gonna
water. I'm
eat any
gonna."
pizza or have any beer today. I had my fun yesterday, which was totally fine. I'm
Yeah,
still human, and I wanna be human, but
yeah,
today I'm gonna take a little bit easier. I'm gonna eat the right food.
yeah,
I'm not gonna overdo it with the right food either, but I'm gonna make sure I drink all my water today and maybe take a few extra, digestive enzymes and
exactly.
fun. And then within the next 2 days, I'm back to where my weight was, and I was fine. but
Yeah.
I had to like struggle with that to make it okay. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, a month and a half ago when I was in transition, I was not this cool and calm and collected about it. I was so not. I was worried about everything. But as
Yeah.
soon as I found my balance and understood like I can still have a little bit of candy and not wreck
Right.
everything,
Right.
it was like the whole game changed for me.
Yeah. And the key is when you're saying a little bit, you actually meant it.
Yes. Yeah. I
That's
really
the
did need to do
key.
that.
That's the key. And there really is, if you say I'm going to have a little bit, then that is what you're going to do, and then stick to it. And it's the decisions that people make at times that if they go over that, now they're mad at themselves because they just sabotage themselves, and then we go into this whole mental thing again, and that's exactly where we don't want people to go, because even if you did do that, let it go.
Right. Right. Well, because it's done. It's done and you can't
Right,
take it
just
back now.
move
And
on, but don't think that you didn't evolve.
right. Exactly. And now, for instance, like I just got my Girl Scout deliveries, like,
Right, right. You got those
but
big Samoas.
oh, I actually had one before we got on, but I had one. I didn't
Yeah,
have three.
yeah.
One, and
Exactly.
maybe I'll have one later. But like two
Right.
cookies is not gonna do anything. And I'm having my water and I'm eating the other right food and I'm
Exactly.
allowed to have two cookies. And again, like that getting to where
Yep.
I am now mentally was a huge part of this process. And having someone help coach
Yeah.
you through that transition period was a huge part to why it's successful, honestly. I,
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it by myself.
Yeah.
So
I encourage people to get on my calendar and stuff, and a lot of times people just don't. I really encourage people to get, even if you just need to have a quick pep talk, that's it.
yeah.
You
Well,
need
because
to
it's hard to talk to someone who hasn't done it. So
right,
it makes
right.
all the difference.
Exactly. So what kind of things can you do now that you couldn't do before?
Um, hmm.
You said you can wear anything and everything
Oh, yeah. Well,
outside.
I remember in college, everything was crop top and this and that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not wearing any crop tops, but I can wear things that are a little bit tighter. I can fit into the jeans that, I was having to unbutton in the car on the way to work before.
Right.
And I can have a piece of pizza and not feel awful. I can
Right.
eat, a s'more and not feel like, oh, like I'm so bloated. I can't believe I ate that.
Yeah.
Because
And
again,
I'm
it's
gonna eat
more
all
just like the
sweet.
physical. It's mental too. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I lost weight, mentally too, not just
There
physically.
you go. Yeah.
So just being more confident in who I am and, knowing that anything I do wear, well, except for the nice jeans that I bought when I was at my bigger weight, now I can't wear them. That's
Put them
probably the
on that.
only it's probably the
Put
only
them on posh.
downfall.
Put them on
But
posh.
but at the same time, it's like I'm also happy about it too because I'm like, great. I mean, it kind of stinks because I liked those jeans, but I'd rather have to buy new jeans that fit better
Yeah.
than be stuck there and feel like those are the only ones that fit.
Oh, I
So,
know, I know. I
but
know.
yeah, like I can. After my actually after I got about halfway to my well, almost like the whole way to my goal
Mhm.
weight. And as a kind of a reward, bought myself I bought myself leather pants.
Nice.
Leather pants because I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go all in.
Yeah, but
And
they make everything look so good.
they do. And I put them on, and my mom was like, "Are you sure about leather? Like that's bold." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, I
Why
know I've
not?
lost weight. Like it's gonna work." And I put them on, and I was like, "Wow." So I can wear leather pants now again and feel confident about
Awesome.
it. And I can wear and do anything I want and not feel like, oh, like I have to keep this pulled down or like, oh, like this has to stay pulled up or I have to wear shapewear. Like I can wear and do anything without feeling like I have to hide everything now.
That is
I think
such a big deal too, because mentally, when you're going into your closet as a female, and I know men go through this too,
Mhm.
but women, there's so many more accessories, there's so many more material, it's so much more, the patterns matter, and just because of our curves and blah blah blah, and it is so exhausting
Yeah.
going into your closet or your dresser, literally going through an entire drawer full of stuff, and your room's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this, not that.
Yeah. Well,
Before you know
especially
it,
like when
you know,
and
empty
especially
your
when you're
closet.
younger, like you didn't have to feel that way. When you're younger, you can
Oh,
go in your closet, wear anything. And then you get to that age where it's like,
yes.
I can't wear that anymore.
It is exhausting.
Yeah, and so just to kind of be able to go back in now and, again, I'm not wearing crop tops, but to be able to go in and say, "Oh, this is a little bit tighter, but I'm okay. Like I can wear this. I know it looks nice and I don't have to feel like I'm going to be hanging over my jeans or I'm going to be, kind of popping out of it. Like I
Yeah,
know that now I can wear it with confidence and not have to worry about it."
yeah. That's awesome. So, being on a diet like this, I always tell people it is a timed out thing. You're not on it forever. Just put on your big girl thong and move on. You got this.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still feel, especially if they have 50, 60 pounds to lose, they know they're going to be on it for, a few months or whatever to get the weight off. But a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm depriving myself, this and that. And my very first reaction to that is, listen, you weren't depriving yourself for years. So let's get a grip, right?
Right.
But what even though you were saying no, because you were saying no to the parties, no to the beer, no to this, no. When you were on low cal step 2, you were saying no to everything. Okay, but what what mentally were you saying yes to that was keeping you motivated?
Me. Just straight up simple me because I know what I wanted and it didn't matter if I, looked fine. It didn't matter if I, was in a relationship and no one cares. None of that mattered to me. What mattered to me was how I felt waking up every day
Mhm.
and, feeling I was I was important enough to wake up feeling better every day, and that it didn't matter if everyone else thinks, "Oh, like, you don't have to lose weight. You look fine." Like, "Oh, stop. Like, you're not overweight. You're not fat. You're not obese." And I get that. Maybe scientifically speaking and scale speaking, I'm not, but
Yes.
mentally and, internally, I was, and
Yep.
I knew I was. And that's okay. Like, it doesn't matter if you're 5'2" and 150 or, 5'7" and, 210. If you
Mhm.
don't feel good, there's no one else it's no one else's business to tell you otherwise.
That's
Even if
right.
you're 5 pounds over, that's completely up to you. Like, it
Yes.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so I did pass up the beer and I did pass up the brownies and I did pass up the fried food and because that in that moment was not nearly as important enough to me as I knew how feeling 2 months from now would be.
Right.
Like,
It's
that
much.
feeling was gonna be so much more worth it, especially knowing that this diet works. Like,
Yeah.
knowing it's already working and
Yeah.
that, if I just keep going, it will just keep working. Like, there's no way I can basically sabotage myself if I just keep doing the
Mhm.
right thing. And that was so much more important than anything else in the moment, honestly.
Right.
And it goes by like that, truly. It
It
really
does.
does. The time that you give up sacrificing is so much more worth of the lifetime of happiness and confidence that you get from it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Agreed. What was your biggest aha moment?
Those pants on the way to work. I have about a 45-minute commute to work every day. And sometimes I would leave the house, with my pants unbuttoned because I had to sit in the car for 45 minutes and I didn't
Yeah.
want to feel like that. I also, had a little bit, had some rolls that one would go over, the one would kind of create the pouch. And that just felt awful to think about, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to feel like that in the car. So I would unbutton them. And then I remember like one day getting in the car and like, almost to work and being like, for me, it was not even so much the buttoning of the pants, it was the fact that that roll was not rolling over anymore.
Yes.
And that it was a little bit flatter and that, there was no pouch under the button anymore. Um, and that was like my aha moment, like, this really is working. Like, it's really actually working because, you look at yourself in the mirror every day, you weigh yourself, you're like, yeah, okay. But, when you compare to like where I
Yeah.
was in the beginning to where I am now,
Yeah.
like when you really see it or like when you really feel it, you're like, wow,
Yes.
this is like the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember putting on a pair of dress pants that I hadn't worn in such a long time. And when I saw them in the closet, I'm like, yeah, no. And then I'm like, maybe I'll try them on. And they went right up.
Yeah.
Zipped them. I'm like, wow, I'm wearing these today.
Yep.
Like, I honestly did not think I was gonna fit into them.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, I'm seeing myself in the mirror every day, and yeah, I could see that there's differences, but it's not the same. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I tell people to take their weekly photos too. Because sometimes the scale is just not cooperating, especially if you're getting a period, whatever.
Oh,
And it's just annoying. But at the same time, when you see weekly photos of yourself, you're like, oh, wow, I do see a difference even though the scale didn't move, and that is motivating as well. So
right.
trying on clothes all the time, that was big thing that we always encourage people to do, taking your pictures, that type of thing. And what you just said, non-scale victory, I don't have to unbutton my pants every day. I don't feel that roll around my button anymore. Those are
Yeah.
the little things that all of a sudden we're like, I can't believe that I was putting up with that.
Ah, yeah.
But
Yep.
it's like that frog in hot water, right? They don't even know it's the temperature's going up until it's like, wow, it's really hot in here.
Right. Until you look at it and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like, what happened?"
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. All right, so where are you going from here? What kind of goals do you have now?
Personally, I love feeling like this. And I encourage people, like I posted a transformation video of myself, and I've
Yeah.
had so many people reach out. And so for me personally, my goal is to feel like this, and now I get to go to the gym and on
Mm,
my own, you know, choice though, like in my own happiness, and just because I want to go. It's not like, oh, I missed a day at the gym, now I'm not going to lose the weight. Like, no, I get to go because now I want to stay in shape. Now I want to, oh, tone this a little bit. Oh, I'm just going to do abs today. Oh, I'm just going to do a little bit of legs. So, my goal is now to just continue staying healthy and working on me in a fun way.
yeah.
And, bigger picture, like again, I encourage everyone to reach out and learn more about it, because if you are in the same boat that I was, you have a small frame, people tell you you're not overweight and, oh, you look fine and this and that. Like, please, I hear you, I feel you. Reach out. I would love to tell you all about it. I
Mm,
do. I black out when someone asks me what I've done, and it's like 20 minutes later and they're like, and I'm like, oh, sorry, was I still talking about it? Because I do. I believe in this diet with everything.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was simple, it was easy to follow, there was no harsh workouts, there was no, you
Mm,
know, time consuming thing. It was just drink your water, eat the right food,
yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
And
We're really hoping that people will, find us through all this Ozempic stuff because
it's just not good for you.
oh, we're there's no side effects of this except for you get happier and you get smaller clothes.
Honestly, honestly,
Because your side effects is that you feel better about yourself.
really though, that
Yeah,
there it really is amazing.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so one piece of advice you could give someone who might be considering Breakthrough M2.
Basically exactly what you just said. The confidence and happiness that you will get from doing this is so much more worth the small sacrifices you will make,
Yeah,
during those few months that you
yeah,
do this.
yeah,
Um, and it also it becomes like habit, like you get so used to weighing your food and drinking your water, and it becomes life for a little bit, and you don't, after a while you're not hungry, you don't kind of go through like that same kind of, you know oh, well, but they're doing this, they're doing that. You kind of hit that little step where
yeah.
it's almost like a runner's high. Like you're like,
Your
oh,
stride.
this is working. Like,
Found your
I'm
stride.
gonna keep going because this is making me feel good. And I know what I'm doing is what's best for me. And this is what I
Yes.
care about and what I want. So if you are having like any questions or, second thoughts about it, which is totally fair, just think about who you wanna be and where you are now, and I promise you, it is so much more worth it. Like,
Yeah.
it is so worth it because you will get there. If you genuinely just follow the diet as is, there's no way it won't work in my opinion. There's just no way. So, I promise you, it
Mhm.
is so much more worth it on the other side.
Yes.
100%.
I agree. I agree.
Mentally, physically, emotionally,
Yeah.
it's all worth it.
Yeah. And when I did the program 12 years ago, I was at the point where I just needed to do something. And I had tried so many other diets, and I'm like, well, you know, what do I got to lose? A few $100, and that's, in the whole scheme of things, paying for a gym membership I didn't use for 3 years, and kept
Yeah,
paying, because if I don't pay, that means I quit.
right.
you know,
Yeah.
all the diet pills that I use, and all the programs that I tried, and all the stupid equipment I bought, and all the, back then VCR tapes that I bought, oh my,
I went through my Beachbody phase. I
oh
did.
my God,
90X. I was there. I did
so
it.
many. I was like, but I figured, you know what? I got to do something, because I just can't. And it just made sense to me. And because it was all natural food, I was like, I think I can
Right.
do this. But
Right.
yeah, I feel the same way you did. And, when people asked, I was ready and willing to tell them exactly what, because I wanted people to understand you don't have to keep going like this. You don't have to feel hopeless. And I
Right.
literally was like, listen, if I could do this after 22 years of trying and failing and trying and failing, and I finally found something that worked for me, oh my God, anybody could do it. And
Right.
I really felt addicted to food. I felt addicted to my lack of discipline, and I felt like, but I decided, and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to, that's it. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I do ask all of our clients to write down their three affirmations, the things that they're really gonna hang their hat on, and the three attitudes or mindsets or places that they just are feeling, at this point. And so if you would like to say your affirmations, do your success screen, however you do it, you do it. All right?
Um, Honestly, I don't think I can scream. My smile is too big. It'll come out weird. Um, but I think for me, my affirmations are I am happy. I am free now because I really am, and I'm worth it. And I think that we forget that. I think we forget that we are worth, again, those sacrifices. We are worth the time. We are worth the money. You
Yeah.
know, I was on the fence about it initially, and was contemplating spending the money, and I am so worth that money in the grand scheme of it all.
Yes.
It was like nothing. Honestly, I look back and I'm like, that was so worth the next, you know, however many years of my life, and knowing that knowing that I did it, and that it was as simple as it was, and I just it is. The whole thing is just worth it. I am happy, I am free, I am worth it. And I want everyone to feel like that. So if you are having, these same sort of internal struggles and thoughts and, doubts, I promise you, if you just stick with it, there's no way it won't work. Honestly, there's
Awesome.
no way it won't work. And everyone deserves to feel this good. Really. Everyone deserves it.
That's awesome. Thank you. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for committing to yourself. Thank you for committing to breakthrough. Thank you for the transformation video, and doing this interview with me. And yeah, we love seeing less of you.
You know,
Awesome.
thank
All
you. I
right.
appreciate you having me on.
Yes, definitely. All right, hon. Thank you.
Thank you.